Hello friends, I am Professor Sunil Bairagi from Department of Soil Science and Agriculture Chemistry, Kikawak College of Agriculture, Nasik. So this is a course problematic soil and their management of fourth semester. Our today's topic that is multi-purpose tree species and bioremediation of soil. So let's see. So in this chapter we have seen the bioremediation, then how it is work, an essential factor for microbial bioremediation, then bioremediation and methods, then microbes involved in bioremediation, advantages and disadvantages of bioremediation, application of bioremediation. So these are these things we have seen in this chapter. So first one, that is the what is meant by bioremediation. So the name suggests bio, that means inclusions of some biological agents or the living cells, and then remediate means to solve the problem. So while we are considering bioremediation, this means you have to solve the problems of the soil with the help of living cells such as the bacteria, virus, protozoa, fungus. Then the so remediate means to solve a problem, and bioremediate means to use biological organism to solve an environmental problem such as contaminated soil or groundwater. Then bioremediation means to use a biological remedy to abate or clean up contamination. The bioremediation is a waste management techniques that involves the use of organism to remove or neutralize pollutants from a contaminated sites. Okay, so basically if you have seen, the bioremediation is nothing but to solve a problem with the help of some biological organisms. Then bioremediation is the biological degrading processes for the treatment of contaminated soils, groundwater, or sediments, relying on microorganisms including bacteria and fungi to use the contaminant as a food source with resulting degradation of the contaminants. Microorganisms used to perform the function of bioremediation are also known as bioremediators. Okay, as the name suggests, bioremediation. So the agent which are required for this purpose is known as a bioremediators. Then next one, that is essential factors for microbial remediation. So first one, that is microbial population. So suitable kinds of organism that can biodegrade all the contaminants. So in case of selecting the microbes or the organism should be biodegrade all the contaminants. Then oxygen, enough to support aerobic biodegradation. That means about 2% of oxygen in the gas phase or zero point 0.4 milligram per liter in the soil water. Then water, soil moisture should be from 50 to 70% of the water holding capacity of the soil. Then nutrients requirement, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur and other nutrients. And the pH requirement, that is right from 6.5 to 7.5. Then there is a three types of bioremediation. First one, that is biostimulation, then bioaugmentation, and then intrinsic bioremediation. So first one, that is biostimulation, the method in which bacteria are motivated to start the process of bioremediation, and that means stimulate. That means you have to motivate this bacteria to start the process. In this method, first the experts release nutrients and the other important substance in the soil where there is a need or removing the contaminants. These are in the form of gas or liquid. It increases the growth of microbes in that area. So as a source of food or the source of nutrients, there is some nutritious foods are released for the motivation of this bacteria. As a result, bacteria and other microorganisms remove the contaminants quickly and efficiently. And then second one, that is bioaugmentation. Microorganisms that can clean up a particular contaminant are added to the contaminated soil and water. Bioaugmentation is more commonly and successfully used on contaminants removed from the original site, such as municipal waste water treatment facilities. So, okay, so mainly we are using this in municipal wastewater treatment. Then third one, that is intrinsic bioremediation. process takes place in a soil and water because these two places are always full of contaminants and toxins. This is also called as a natural attenuation. It is also means use of the microorganism to remove the harmful substances from soil and water. So mainly if you're seeing this intrinsic bioremediation mainly inside the soil, that means it is the underground. Okay, so for the underground, in case we are concerned the petroleum tanks, as we all know, these petroleum tanks mainly found in underground. So for the remediation of these petroleum tanks, we are using this intrinsic bioremediation. So next one, that is the advantages. The advantages mainly it is having low cost, minimum site disruption, then minimal exposure, then useful for complete destruction, then can often be carried out on site, and then can prove less expensive than other technologies. So and in case of disadvantage, if you have seen, this is a time consuming process. There may be seasonal variation, then problematic addition of additives limited to those compounds that are biodegradable. Then not all compounds are susceptible to rapid and complete degradation. There are some concern that the products of biodegradation may be more persistent or toxic than the parent compound. Difficult to extrapolate from bench and pilot scale studies to full scale field operation. These are the some disadvantage of this bioremediation. Then technology mainly involve, that is in situ, ex situ and bioreactors. So the in situ, the examples, that is a biosparing, bioventing and bioaugmentation. Then ex situ, land forming, composting and biopiles, and in bioreactors mainly slurry reactors and aqueous reactors. The benefits of in situ, that is most cost efficient, non-invasive, relatively passive, natural attenuation process, treat soil and water. In case of limitation, it's having a environmental constraint, extent treatment, and time consuming monitoring difficulties. Then factors to be considered while we are using this in situ technology. First one, that is the biodegradative abilities of indigenous microorganism, then presence of metals and other inorganics, environmental parameters, biodegradability of pollutants, then chemical solubility, geological factor and distribution of pollutants. While in case of ex-situ, the benefits, that is it is a cost efficient, low cost, can be done on site. Then second one, the limitation, it having the space requirement, extended treatment time, need to control abiotic loss, then mass transfer problem and viability imitation. So when we are considering the factors, it is the same as in situ. Third one, that is the bioreactors. The benefits mainly rapid degradation, then kinetic, optimize environmental parameters, then effective use of inoculants and surfactants. Then soil, in case of limitation, soil requires exhaustion. Relatively, it is having a high cost. Then factors to be considered while bioreactors technology, then bioaugmentation, toxicity of amendments, then toxic concentration of contaminants. So this is the some example when we are using this bio remediation. In case of bioremediation of marine oil spills, the bacteria, that is Achromobacter, then Anthropobacter, Bacillus, then Flavobacterium, Nocardia, Pseudomonas, Vibrio. These are the some examples of bacteria. While in case of yeast and fungi, that Aspergillus, then Cladosporium, Penicillium, then Trichoderma. These are the used for the bioremediation of marine oil spills. So the what is meant by multi-purpose tree? As its name suggests, it's having multi-functional trees. Okay. Then these are the trees which are grown and managed for more than one output. They may supply food in the form of fruit, nuts, leaves that can be used as a vegetable, while at the same time they are supplying firewood, added nitrogen to the soil, and supply some other combination of multiple outputs. Then while all trees can be saved to serve several purposes, such as providing habitat, shade, or soil improvement. That means in case of we are considering there is a lots of cases that having the multi-purpose. The primary role as being a part of living fence, okay, or the windbreak or used in an alley cropping system. And in addition to this, they will one or more secondary roles, most often supplying a family with food or fireworks or both. So these are the some multi-purpose. These are the some common examples. First one that is glyceridia, then moringa, then coconut palm, and then neem. So glyceridia CPM. This is the botanical name of glyceridia. So mainly it is the most commonly used for the living fences. Then firewood fodder. Then in case of Moringa oleifera, that is the we are called as a drumstick. Okay. Then edible leaves, pods, and beans commonly used for the animal forage and share. Coconut palm, that is Cocos nucifera, it is used for food, purified water, that means the juice from the inside the content. Then root thatching, firewood, and shade. And last one, that is a neem azadiricta indica. It is limited use as it is mainly used as an insect repellent. In case if you are seeing this neem, the neem seed kernel extract are used as a pesticide or the insecticide for the controlling of different insects and pests. Mainly that's why it is used as an insect repellent, then antibiotic. It is also useful for the addition of nitrogen in the soil, then windbreaks, biomass production for use as mulch and firewood. Then these are the some important and widely reported hyperaccumulator used for metal remediation. Okay, so in this that means it this plant species may be absorb this type of elements. While we are considered the cadmium, that is Thalaspicariolens, that is it's having maximum concentration of 500 milligram per kg. Then copper Ipomia alpine, that is 12,300 maximum concentration. Okay, in same case of selenium, Brassica juncea and Brassica napus are the example uh, of plant species. Then microorganism used for metal remediation. Okay, so for the cadmium we are using a citrobacter. For copper we are using a bacillus. For cobalt zuglia species, nickel zuglia species, zinc bacillus species. While controlling the chromium or for the remediation of chromium, different types of microorganism such as the pseudomonas ambigua, cladomonas species, the agrobacterium species, then oscillatory species or arthobacter species are used for the remediation. So this is the all about the bioremediation and multiple purpose plant species. Thank you.